Welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on WakeUpCallDT.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on MixLR.com/WakeUpCallDT. Proud to be here with you every single Monday through Friday inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. You are here on MixLR.com/WakeUpCallDT and on WakeUpCallDT.com. And of course, you are watching and listening on Facebook Live on Facebook.com/LiveNowDT and on YouTube.com/WakeUpCallDT. So however you're connecting with the show, I thank you so much for being a part of the broadcast and having some fun with us here this morning inside of, like I said, these Cafe Kubal studios. Cafe Kubal available to you throughout Syracuse by going to 3501 James Street, as well as 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street, and 208 North Townsend Street. So make sure you make your way out to see them at any of those locations in Syracuse, as well as the fact that you can have the opportunity to see them in Manlius in their newest location at 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York. So make sure that you get your way over there and have some fun. And I definitely will be going over there today to get myself a chai. You know that's what I get when I go over there. That's my drink of choice. Their chai is amazing. The spices and the syrup, everything that they use to create the chai that they have and the flavoring that they have is incredible and truly unique and second to none, and that's what I get when I go. So I'll be out there getting that today, and definitely looking forward to that. And I know that they have a ton of favorites out there for you, for all my coffee lovers, obviously my tea and chai lovers, and of course they have some fantastic stuff when it comes to their food. Their upstate sandwich is my favorite. And, of course, beyond that, the chocolate banana bread. And they now are featuring new things for Valentine's Day that you can go in there, some new treats for you. So make sure that you get out to any of the locations for Cafe Kubal today. As you know, on Wednesdays, we split the show up into two different videos. For those of you watching on video, we will split these up into two. And that being because our fantasy football coverage that we do throughout the year is something that has, grown legs on its own and become a show within a show. I mean, essentially, it's such a big part of what we do here on Wake Up Call that we want to make sure that you can get to it and get to the archives, because the fantasy football archives have their own page on WakeUpCallDT.com. If you just go there and you click on Fantasy Football or Fantasy Football Broadcast tab under it, you'll be able to see a bunch of our broadcasts in the history of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We also have our winning fantasy football group on Facebook. You can join for free. So because of that and our connection to fantasy football and how big that has become and how, that in and of itself has become a really special show, we have decided to split up Wednesday. So there's two videos every single Wednesday. So for those of you watching on video, we'll stop after the first hour, jump into the second, and start a new video there, just for those of you that are coming here for the first time, so you know if the video stops, that's why, on Facebook and YouTube. And of course, those of you listening on MixLR as well as on WakeUpCallDT.com, you just stay where you are and it'll continue to flow right through. So, with that being said, in hour number one, before we get to the Fantasy Football Power Hour, proudly presented by the Wildcat Sports Pub, I have the opportunity and the pleasure of bringing somebody onto the show that I deeply respect and appreciate, someone who is no stranger to the broadcast and someone who means a lot to me. I love his fight. I love how he has worked to overcome adversity, what he has done with loss in his life, and how he has responded to it. This man has raised his siblings, he raises his children, and he has believed in himself and fought for his dreams and tries to inspire other people while doing all of this. It would have been easy to give up, and he never has. And that's Shamarko Thomas. Shamarko will be joining us in just a little bit. Very happy to have Shamarko coming onto the broadcast here at 9:15 a.m. Eastern Time. Played for Syracuse from 2009 to 2012 at the safety position, and he will be joining us today to tell his story, to talk about a little bit of everything, speaking on family, overcoming adversity, positive reinforcement, motivation, his history with football, and the way he plays as well as the way that he lives his life, because there's a similarity in how he is on and off the field. So we'll talk with Shamarko about all of that in just a few minutes around 9:15 a.m. Eastern Time for Hour 1. And then in Hour 2, when we start our new video, it'll be the Fantasy Football Power Hour, where we'll talk with Mike Sofka about the big game festivities. What do we think about pregame? What do we think about the halftime show? And, ultimately, what do we think about the commercials and the game itself? How did the game itself go, in our opinion? Did we see what we expected? Did we see what we didn't expect? What do we think about Tom Brady? What do we think about the Bucs, as well as the Chiefs moving forward, and just how Pat Mahomes looked in the game? So we got a little bit of everything about the game itself, as well as the festivities around the game, speaking on that NFL championship game, the 55th championship game in the NFL, featuring the Bucs and the Chiefs, where the Chiefs didn't look like themselves, and the Bucs commanded the whole game for the most part and won the game 31-9. So we'll be talking about all of that as we step forward, and I'm excited to do that here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. And we'll also bring up the fans, because I did my in-game halftime show myself. And so while the weekend was doing his thing, I was doing mine. And we had 50 votes come in, including Mike's and mine. We had 50 votes, and it was literally split half to half. It was 25 Bucs, 25 Chiefs. So of the 50 votes that came in, that split was pretty cool and pretty awesome. So we'll be talking with Mr. Sofka about that around 10 a.m. Eastern Time today. So very, very much looking forward to that conversation. And, of course, in just a second here, looking forward to having Shamarko on the broadcast to be here with us. So a lot of great stuff coming up, and more than happy to have you here on the show. And I appreciate you being here, hanging out with us, where sports truly meets that thing called life. So before we get into that, before we take a step aside, and good morning to Alan as well, I do want to give a shout out to Syracuse basketball, who found a way to get it done. The height advantage is something that was being talked about repeatedly between, when the commentators were speaking about this game, Syracuse's height advantage over NC State, and ultimately the Orange took advantage, took the win, and were able to get a victory here to get them to 11 wins. They've been toying with 500 in the ACC. They've been kind of dancing with it. They get it, they go under it, they go above it, they go back under it, they go back even, they go back under it, then they go back even. So they're back even in the ACC right now, as Syracuse currently has a record in the ACC of 5-5. They're 11-6 overall. NC State fell to 4-7 in the ACC and 8-8 overall. And you talk about, the height differential between players. When you look at this game, Syracuse was able to rebound them in the second half by 10 rebounds, which was huge for the Orange, and able to get the victory and get out of Raleigh with a win, which Syracuse desperately needed here. As we go back and forth with this Orange team, they win by a big margin, they lose by a big margin, and then they're somewhere in between with the rest of it. And it's been, definitely been a place where it's caused a lot of confusion as to where Syracuse sits, and do they have what it takes? Can they play against the best of the best? Can they be physical? Can they rebound? Can they box out? I mean, it's questions we've been asking for years. The rebounding, the boxing out, the setting offensive plays, these things that teams should know and that we haven't seen. Well, Syracuse in this game, like I said, had the height advantage. Thomas Allen, 6'1", Braxton Beverly, 6 foot. So looking at some of these guys here on the roster, as far as height-wise goes, Jericho Helms is 6'7", and then you look at Shaquille Morris, 6'1", and you look at Syracuse's side of things and their guys that are out there, and Buddy Boeheim, 6'6", Braswell, 6'7", who only played a few minutes, though. Marek Dolezaj, 6'10", going inside. Joe Girard is 6'1", so around that. Alan Griffin, 6'5", and so, Brian Kadari, also 6'5". So they had the height advantage. They utilized that. They were able to go inside and do things that they needed to do and take care of business, and ultimately come out with the victory, as Syracuse, like I said, moves to 11-6, back even in the ACC at 5-5. But they got a lot to prove. The Orange have a lot to prove, and they don't have a lot of time to prove that. We're heading toward tournament time in the conference tournaments, and this is when Corona hit. So, this is when it all happened, was right around March 9th here in the United States. And so the hope and the prayer is that when we hit March 9th this year, it's going to be better. And obviously, we'll be in a better place. We'll be in a healthier place and coming out of this thing as opposed to going into it. And hopefully there will be a big difference in what a year makes. They have Boston College at home this Saturday, February 13th. Then they're on the road at Louisville, which is going to be a tough game for the Orange. Then they have Notre Dame at home on February 20th. Then they're at Duke, who's been struggling, who just lost to an 8-10 Notre Dame team. And that was at home, I believe. And then they'll be at Georgia Tech, and then they'll be home against North Carolina. So Syracuse with a lot to prove. Duke with a lot to prove as well, as Duke has not had anywhere near the season that people expect them to have by any stretch of the imagination. Duke has definitely struggled. They're 7-8. And like I said, they just lost at home to Notre Dame 93-89 yesterday. So with all that being stated, we'll talk about Syracuse basketball as we move forward in the week. And, of course, it's now time to shift gears and have the opportunity to speak with Shamarko, which we're going to do right after this fast break where sports meets life on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We appreciate you being here inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, hanging out with us right here every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
Cafe Kubal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafekubal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Kubal needs. Cafe Kubal, coffee for the soul.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on WakeUpCallDT.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on MixLR.com/WakeUpCallDT. Happy to be here with you every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, hanging out here inside of the Cafe Kubal studios here once again on WakeUpCallDT.com, as well as MixLR.com/WakeUpCallDT, and of course on YouTube.com/WakeUpCallDT live, and on Facebook.com/LiveNowDT. And it is my honor, it is my privilege. We have started off this week with fantastic people and fantastic conversations. And when you talk about fantastic people and conversations, there is no better than Shamarko Thomas. Him and I have had very deep, very fruitful, very funny, and very eventful conversations every time we speak. And it means so much to me that we have kept our bonds over the years. He played at Syracuse from 2009 to 2012. I met him within that, and from there, we've been friends. And to call Shamarko a friend and to actually have Shamarko in my life is something that I am more than grateful for, and I definitely appreciate it. Thank God for every single moment that he crosses my mind, and it's really an honor to know somebody like him. He has fought so hard. He took care of his siblings growing up, had tragedy in his family, and now he has 2 boys, 2 girls, takes care of them. And I was obviously there as a husband, there as a father, and then he works hard and gets after his dreams himself. So when somebody tells you that they can't do something and there's too much adversity in their life, I ask them to look at Shamarko, who's had enough adversity for 10 lives, and he always has been able to rise above it. And with that being said, I welcome my friend to the show, Syracuse and NFL alum to the show, and someone I deeply respect, Shamarko Thomas. Shamarko, how are we doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I appreciate the introduction. I'm just old Shamarko, man. I'm just blessed and grateful to be alive, man. And I appreciate the opportunity to come on your show.
And always, man, and you always have a place here. And and I think what's amazing, Shamarko, is your story has been so incredible. Your fight has been there. People see what you've overcome on the field. People see what you've overcome off the field. Tell me about the moments where it was really difficult, or the moments where you felt like, did you ever have a moment where you felt like you could give up or you wanted to give up? Did you ever have that moment of weakness? Because, people have heard the people that know your story, they see your strength, but they don't see those, we always talk about how people see the finished product, but they don't see, in the lab, in the dark, what you have to go through. So, what can you say about those moments? Did you ever have a moment where you felt like it was too much?
Definitely, you had the moments. When as a young kid, one of the biggest moments, as everybody knows, was my mom passed away. And people don't know, before that, my stepdad passed away. So, my mom had 4 kids. She had 6 kids altogether, and just that pressure of now being the real man in the house. I was the man in the house when my mom was a single mother, and I had to take care of my brothers. But now, taking on our responsibilities, I had times of doubt, crying nights, just how I put it, just was lost, I didn't understand what was going on in my life, so I feel like that was brought the doubt. But once, I had God placed in my heart, and I had people around me that was godly and put me around certain people and made me understand what his life is and how to value and be grateful for the things you got and stuff like that. That's what kept pushing me. I know my mom would never let me want to give up. That was one of the biggest things, because I remember after my mom's funeral, even after my mom's funeral, first time I see my mom in the casket, they let you go see her in a viewing, and it was like that moment, like she's really gone, and I feel like that was my worst moment. That was my turning point. But I remember just going outside and, having a conversation with her, and just knowing, like, something deep in my chest was like, don't give up. So that was really just keeping me strong through them days. It was just my mom, and, her, the way she raised me, honestly.
And Shamarko, when you look back on that, like you said, your mom would have said never give up and whatnot. I mean, you being a man of the house when she was around, and then you being a man of the house when she wasn't around, what went through your mind and what went through your heart, knowing that, here's someone who I'm sure was, not only your mom, but a friend to you, somebody that you could trust, somebody that you could go to, somebody that you could lean on. When she wasn't physically there, how did you find the strength to go forward?
Honestly, God, and people supporting me. That's great, like genuine people supporting me, that's around me. If you don't got a great supporting staff and God in your life, bro, I really think I wouldn't have made it, because I was still a young kid, in college, really still trying to find myself, and I didn't know I was gonna go to the NFL, I just was working hard. It's called working hard blindly, putting your head down and grinding. So honestly, supporting staff and God, and like I said, my mom, I knew she didn't want me to give up on life. So that's what really was motivating, to just not on the crying days to keep pushing. The days I don't feel like doing anything, because I'm soaking in the mornings, get up, because I know my mom would make me get up. Certain things like that. It was just keep pushing me.
That coming here from Shamarko Thomas this morning on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. What were the best messages that you got from your mom? Like the things that stuck with you on and off the field when you needed her. What did you hear in your head from her?
Like everybody know my famous quote: "Work hard until your hands and feet fall off." My mom used to tell me that all the time. I see my mom work night and day. That's just her mentality. I remember the first time I told her I wanted to play football. Everybody know my famous quote: "You think NFL player or football player sits on the all the time?" I see my mom work. I got my shoes and those were my night and day. That was her mentality. Get it by any means. That was just her mentality. It was just few things. I told her I wanted to play football. One thing I always took with me is she said, "You think an NFL player or a football player sits like you gonna be like your father?" And that was like honestly that was a motivation to be opposite. Those were my cones. I don't really talk about my mentality. Because I don't like getting to that emotional state, but she used to tell me that always pick with me. It's crazy how it motivated me. She was like, "You're going to be like your father." And that was like, honestly, that was a motivation to be opposite. Things I don't really talk about my real father. Because I don't like getting to that emotional state.
And that's the thing, you had to learn how to be a dad, in a way to your siblings. Before you became a dad, what was it like playing football, raising your siblings, trying to do everything that you possibly could? I mean, Shamarko, when you were at Syracuse, your life
you had to learn how to be a dad,
and yet you found a way
to your siblings.
Before how are you there for everybody?
What was it like?
It was. It almost felt like at times you were in like 5 places at once
to do everything
you possibly could. I mean, Shamarko, when you were at Syracuse, your life got shaken, and yet you found a way to be. How are you there for everybody? I mean, how it was. It almost felt like at times you were in like 5 places at once. How did you do it?
Helping me out, take care of them. Honestly, like I said, my support staff. I can't say it was hard because, like I said, I didn't have a father. I started all my brothers. Now, as long as I'm father to my own kids, I'm still learning. She held it down like a two mothers. I feel like my girl, take care of the women that are mature. I can't say it was hard. I feel like she helped me grow and helped me understand what's the importance of our family. Now, as long as my brothers and sisters and my kids, I'm still learning. She really taught me how to be a father. I feel like it was kind of easy because women that are mature.
So let's shout her out for people that don't know her name. Since we're talking so highly about her, let's shout her out.
Shout out to family, taking care of my brothers and sisters and my kids. So she really taught me how to be, man. She got her own business. It was eyelasting because I had Stephanie at times eyelasting.
So let's shout her out for people that don't know her name. Since we're talking so highly about her, let's shout her out.
Shout out because I can tell you the truth. Honestly, I didn't know how to be a father or a father to my brothers. She's doing great. It was hard. Eyelasting. Stephanie at times eyelasting.
Coming here from Shamarko Thomas this morning on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, speaking about how life happens, and Shamarko, life has happened in this past year or two. All of it.
It was hard. It was a learning process.
So we have felt
coming
that
here from Shamarko Thomas this morning on Wake Up Call with Dan
so many different
speaking
scenarios.
about
I mean, if you were in a
life
bad
happens and
relationship,
Shamarko,
you were stuck
life
in
has
the house
happened in this past
if
year.
you were
or
in an
two.
abusive place,
All of
you were
us.
stuck in the house with it. If you
So
had addiction, you were stuck in the house with it.
That
if
if
you
you
weren't
were
happy with the job that you
so
had,
many different
you
scenarios.
were
I mean, if
stuck
you were
with
in
it.
a
or you
bad
lost it, lost money,
relationship,
lost jobs,
you were stuck
lost
in the house with
loved ones, had
if
people
you were in
pass
an
away
abusive
from
place,
the virus.
you were stuck in
couldn't
the house
travel
with
to see people.
If you
couldn't
had
see people on your
addiction, you were
birthday.
stuck in the house with
during
it.
it.
If
for a holiday and
you
whatnot.
weren't happy with the
so
job that
many
you had,
things of it.
you
Couldn't
were
travel, couldn't
stuck
go
with it.
overseas.
Or
Heck,
you
here in
lost it.
Syracuse,
Lost
can't
money,
even go up
lost
to Canada.
jobs,
And
loved
for me,
ones,
like
had people pass
selfishly,
away
I'm
from
a
the
Raptor
virus.
fan.
Couldn't
So I
travel
was
to
like,
see
well, what am I
people,
supposed to
couldn't
do
see
with my
people on
life?
your birthday.
They had just won a
During,
championship.
for
And
a
I was like,
holiday
and you know
and
what?
whatnot.
I mean, like I said,
So
first
many
world
things that
problems.
couldn't
But I'm
travel,
like,
couldn't go
they just
overseas.
won
Here
a
in Syracuse,
championship,
can't even
and
go
I was
up
like,
to
I'm not going to
Canada.
buy any
You
gear.
know,
And for me, like, I'm
selfishly,
gonna wait till
I'm a Raptor
2020.
fan. So
Because
I was like, well,
then
what
the
am I
other
supposed
teams
to
are
do
going to
with
be
my life?
playing, and they're going to be
They
like,
had
crap,
just
we
won
got to
a
move this
championship.
stuff. So
And
then
I
when
was
another
like,
team
and you know
wins,
what? I mean, like I said,
whatnot,
first world
then they're going to
problems,
put
but
that
I'm like,
stuff on
they
sale.
just
and
won a
I'll just go up to
championship,
Toronto.
and I was like, I'm not going to
and it's
buy
already
any
like
gear in
American money's already
2019.
worth
I'm
more.
gonna wait till
And I'm going to get like $500 worth of stuff for like $272. You know what I mean?
We got to
So
move
like,
this stuff.
stuff.
That
so
was
then when
my
another
plan.
team wins,
And
whatnot,
life happened,
then they're going to put that
and,
stuff on sale,
and it affected
and I'll
us
just go up
all.
to Toronto.
Your
and it's
life
already like
happened
American
before
money's already
that
worth
happened.
more, and I'm going to get like $500 worth of stuff for like $272. You know what I mean?
Everything
so
that's
like,
happened in your life has prepared
that was my
you
plan.
For,
and
in
life
a strange
happened,
way to
brother,
say it,
and
almost
it
prepared
affected
you
us all
for a pandemic.
Your life
because of the
happened
fact
before
that your
that
life has
happened.
been a tornado.
So how did you navigate through that?
Tornado.
And I can only imagine that everything that's happened in your life
honestly,
has prepared
what
you
helps me through this
for,
pandemic,
I mean, in a
honestly
strange way to say
don't
it,
cop with
almost
I'm reading this
prepared
book.
you
It's called-
for a
it's called
pandemic
The Magic,
because
you
of
know
the
what I'm
fact
saying?
that
It's really
your life
step by
has
step,
been a
and,
tornado before
gratitude,
we all
you know
had the
what I'm saying? Like I
tornado.
was telling you before, I know a lot of things is going on, jobs, me through this pandemic. All the situations you just named, honestly don't pop with it. And I had to read this book. It's called Wake Up in the Morning, you know, really step by step. You know what I'm saying? My family here, smiling, you know what I'm saying? God gave me opportunity just to step out this bed. So my mentality now is you just named, now I'm attacking those problems. I had to just attacking aspects of gratitude. I'm thankful to wake up in the morning, you know, what brings me peace, you know what I'm saying? My family here, smiling, no matter what the situation is. I can solve the problem. Just to step out this bed. So gratitude is my key. Just keeping my peace and just keeping positivity in my life, attacking the day and out of control. You know what I'm saying?
And having that positivity, what would you impart on people that are going through, you know, obviously everything that we're going through and going through, you know, this pandemic and trying to navigate through it, trying to figure out, you know, how to handle life.
And
what would be your advice to
what would you
people
impart
out
on
there
people
right now in what to do
through,
with everything
you know,
that you've been through and everything that you've
we're
seen?
going through and going
what
through,
would you tell
this,
people that
this
are
pandemic,
you know, that have lost money, lost their jobs, lost a loved one, had a relationship break up, can't travel?
What would be your
feel
advice
stuck?
to
What would you
people
say to
out there right now in what to do with everything that you've been through and everything that you've seen? What would you tell people that are, you know, that have lost money, lost their jobs, lost a loved one, had a relationship break up, can't travel, feel stuck? What would you say to them?
In college, you know, we had to go to school. I was into like reading books. That's kind of hard. Everybody got books every day. You know, me personally, just the little things, learning and just basically find out who I was. The big things we can't do right now. You can't go out. You know, like I said, understand. Go adventure. Me, I didn't network and all this college. You know, we had to go to school. These things taught me just about the small things. Now I'm reading. You know what I'm saying? Getting education. You know what I'm saying? Getting yourself up against when opportunity. Basically, when life opens back up, things you can't do right now. So that's why I just said, prepare yourself and write down your emotions, meet network, all this stuff. But these things taught me these things. I was seeing so many people talk about suicidal thoughts and all type of things. Building yourself up against so when opportunity, when life opens back up, man, it's like a meditation. That's why I just said, like, prepare yourself to let it go. Write down your emotions, man. Like, I write down a lot of things. Positive things in your life. That's these things I just seen so many people talk about suicidal thoughts and all type of things being locked out of the house, man. Just be grateful for small things, man. And be experienced like every meditation. Another, you know what I'm saying? You can take advantage, let it go, man. Release it and,
you know,
just
Shamarko, you
bring
said
positive
something that
things in
just
your
hit
life.
home
So
to
that's
me.
my
You said
mentality,
write
man.
it down.
Man.
You know,
Write all
if you're
lessons
feeling
down, man.
something,
Capitalize it with
you know,
positive
if you're getting
thoughts.
hard on yourself,
Just be
if you're like,
grateful
if your
for small
mind's
things,
kind
man.
of running you
Be
instead of you
prepared
running
for
your mind, if you're overthinking, if you're, you know, kind of,
Shamarko, you said
whatever it
something
may
that
be,
just
if you're
hit
being
home to
hard
me,
on
you said write
yourself,
it down.
if you're,
you know, if you're
feeling,
if you're
paranoid,
feeling something,
you're stressed, you're
you know,
upset,
if you're getting
you're
hard on
frustrated,
yourself, if you're like,
to
if your
write
mind's
it
kind
down
of running
and
you
to
instead of you running
actually,
your mind,
you know,
if you're
talk about it,
overthinking,
you know,
if
talk it
you're,
through,
you know, kind
read
of
the Bible,
you know, whatever it may be,
music,
if you're
like
being
do something
hard
like
on
that.
yourself,
you know, we get so caught up in it's
paranoid,
kind of like,
you're stressed,
you know, and I've had those moments, you know, you wake up and you kind of head and you're thinking about everything,
you know,
you're being hard on yourself, and you're kind of
through,
you're kind of almost, you know, becoming
listen
an
to
enemy
music, like do something like
yourself.
that. You know, we get so caught
Write
up
it
in
down.
it's kind of
you know, like say,
you know, and I've
why
had
am I
those
feeling
moments,
this
you know,
way?
you
Why
wake
am I
up and
thinking
you kind
this
of
way?
just
What happened the
you're
last
in
time
your
I
own
felt
head
this
and
way?
you're thinking
What
about
makes me
everything
think this way?
you're
What
being
can
hard
I
on
do
yourself
to
and you're
alleviate
kind
it?
of
Because
you're kind
the
of
thing
almost,
is,
you know,
if you
becoming
wake up
an enemy
or during the
of
day,
yourself,
you go to bed and something's
write
there,
it
and you're like,
down.
man, I felt
You
this
know,
way
like, say,
before.
why am
and
I
it causes
feeling
this, and it's a
Why am I
domino
thinking
effect.
this way?
Okay, so
What
what are you
happened
going to
the
do
last
now?
time I felt this
Are you going
way?
to let the domino
What makes
effect
me think
happen,
this way?
or are you
What can
going
I do
to
to
write down what it
alleviate
is?
Because
write
the
down
thing
how you
is,
feel.
if you wake up
write down
or
what
during
it
the day
usually
you go to
does,
bed
and then have a
something's
plan
there and
to
you're like,
fix
man, I
that.
felt this way before, and it causes this, and
we
it's
never
a domino
talk about
effect.
solving
Okay, so
the
what are you
problem.
going to do
We
now?
talk about,
Are you going to let
so
the
many
domino
people
effect
talk about
happen?
the problem,
or are you
right?
going
They call
to
up their
write
friends
down
and
what
say,
it is?
you know,
write
you
down
I
how
won't,
you
you
feel.
won't believe what my
Write
boss
down
did, and da
what
da
it
da
usually
da.
does.
I'm
and
always
then
like,
have a
okay, but
plan
what are
to
you going to
fix
do?
that?
You know,
because
we
your
never
boss is
talk
going to
about
be that
solving
way.
the problem.
Your
We talk
girlfriend,
about,
your boyfriend,
so many
your
people
mom,
talk
your
about
dad,
the problem,
your brother, your
right?
sister,
they call up
the
their
neighbor.
friends and say,
they're going to be that way.
I won't, you won't believe what my boss did, and and
so
I'm
what are you
always
going
like,
to
okay,
do?
but what are you going to do?
How are you going to react?
Because your boss is going to be that way.
Samantha
your
at work
girlfriend,
drives
your
you
boyfriend,
nuts.
your mom,
she drove
your
you nuts
dad,
on
your brother,
Monday.
your sister,
it's
the neighbor.
Are you going to let
be
Samantha
that
drive
way.
you nuts on
You
Tuesday?
can't
Well, now it's
control anything
Wednesday.
but yourself.
So what are you going to
do?
deal with Samantha? What are you going to say to Samantha?
React?
Maybe
like,
you
okay,
walk to your cubicle
Samantha
a different
at
way.
work drives
Maybe
you nuts.
kill her with
Well,
kindness.
she drove you nuts
Maybe
on Monday.
you put headphones
It's
on and
Tuesday.
listen to music.
Are you going to let
Maybe
Samantha
you
drive you nuts on
picture her
Tuesday? Well, now
as
it's
a
Wednesday.
giant bunny when she's speaking.
I have
how
no
are you going to
idea.
deal with Samantha?
But you know what I mean? Like,
what are you
going to
say
to Samantha?
What'd you say?
Maybe you
interesting
walk to your
because honestly,
cubicle
like,
a
when I
different
get
way.
frustrated,
Maybe
you
you
know,
kill
you
her
have
with
days when
kindness.
stuff ain't going
Maybe
your
you
way.
put headphones on and
I
listen to
write down,
music.
you know what I'm saying, the
Maybe
opposite,
you
I write
picture
down my
her
positive thing.
as
It
a
could've
giant
been
bunny
worse,
when
you
she's
know,
speaking.
you know
I
what
have
I'm
no
saying?
idea.
I could've
But
been
you know what I
later,
mean?
you know
Like,
what I'm
we
saying?
don't.
Certain things I just,
What'd you say?
if I got positive on my head, honestly, like when I get more positive, you know what I'm saying, when stuff ain't going your way, you know, I write down, you know, my little brother almost messed up last positive. He could have been worse, he overslept, you know what I'm saying? But I could have been later, you know what I'm saying? Certain things I just, no. You know what I'm saying? If I got positive on my head, God made it write down more positive things, you know what I'm saying? It could have been worse, he could have missed the whole day, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. My little brother almost down to help me, you know what I'm saying? That positive life. He overslept, you know what I'm saying? You know? I'm like, man, you supposed to be on it, but I wrote
and to go a little bit deeper into that, you know, we as a society talk about what makes us mad. Talks about what makes us sad, what makes us depressed, what makes us upset. But we don't talk about the solution. You know, and we talk about the problem, but the problem's always going to exist.
We as a society,
if you have a problem with somebody,
talk about
and
what makes us
you talk
mad.
about it, and you talk about
what
it,
makes us
and
sad,
you
what
talk
makes us
about
depressed,
it.
what makes us upset.
You don't solve it.
But we
And
don't
here's the
talk
other thing
about
that goes along
the
with it.
solution. You know,
how many times
we talk about
have
the
you
problem,
seen somebody,
but the problem's always
to
going
you
to exist,
and
like,
everybody else
if you have a
about a problem
with
they have with somebody, but they don't talk to that person.
You talk about it, and you talk about it, and you talk about it. You don't solve it. And here's the other thing that goes along with it. How many times have you seen somebody talk to you and everybody else about a problem they have with somebody, but they don't talk to that person?
Going around and, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't have different opinions from everybody else. How you fixing that? It's not helping yourself, bringing bad energy to yourself.
Go ahead. Yeah, because it's like, you know, I don't want to ask them, I'm afraid. Well, I don't want to say anything because I don't know what they're going to say to me. It's like, yeah, but you know what? Shouldn't you know? Because the thing is, everybody can tell you, like you said, everybody's going to have a different opinion. Everybody could tell you.
Well, I don't want to ask them, I'm afraid.
You know,
I don't want to say
Shamarko and I got to talk about this. So I call my mom and I call my dad and I call this friend and I call that friend and I call that mentor and I call this other person and I talk to 37 people.
Like you said,
guess what? I still haven't talked to Shamarko about it.
Everybody could tell you.
You know, and the only and a good friend or a good family member, somebody good in your life,
so I call my mom and I call my dad and I call this friend and I call that friend and I call that mentor.
No matter what I tell you, I'm not Shamarko.
People.
You got to talk to Shamarko.
I still haven't talked to Shamarko about it.
And that's something that I feel we do all the time.
And a good friend or a good family member, somebody good in your life, is going to say, "Hey,
talk about solutions." It's
no matter what I tell you, I'm not Shamarko.
It's why the world has its
You
moments.
got to talk to Shamarko.
We don't sit down and say,
something that
okay, you know what?
We do all the time.
You're on that side of the table. I'm on this side of the table.
We don't talk
because
about
we're so quick
solutions.
to yell at that person
screwed up.
for, you know,
why the world has
what's
its
your favorite
moments.
color? Green. Well, mine's blue. Let's fight about it for 57 minutes.
Sit down and say,
there's no reason. It's like, okay, well, why is your favorite color green?
I'm on this side
is why mine's blue.
Why?
Hey, did you know if you put blue and yellow together, it makes green?
Yell at that person.
Compromise.
Like, you know, what's your favorite color? Green. Well, mine's blue. Let's fight about it for 57 minutes.
And I think that's why we don't have that.
There's no reason. It's like, okay, well, why is your favorite color green? This is why mine's blue. Hey, did you know if you put blue and yellow together, it makes green? So let's compromise. Like, we don't talk about the solutions, man, and I think that's why we don't have it.
The aspect you were saying, people don't go to the person that solve the problem. That was the pride. I didn't know this. Like I said, when you're grateful, it's no pride, nothing. So you'll understand when somebody's talking to you or you're talking to somebody else. Man, it's a lot of pride. We're trying to solve the problem. We're not trying to. The aspect you were saying, people don't go to the person that solve the problem. Drop their pride. You know what I'm saying? Just be grateful. Grateful for the person in front of you that came to you instead of going to everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Those type of things that I'm really fond about now is like
Shamarko about it.
Because like I rather
you know, and a good friend.
I rather you don't tell everybody I'm grateful you just can rate to me and we can fix this and go about our business and both can have peaceful lives, you know what I'm saying? Instead of causing more negative energy around us, and now we're in the middle of nowhere, we ain't solve anything.
Well, and that's the thing, man. Like, you spend your whole life talking it away. You know, like you talk to everybody about what's going on in your life, but you don't talk to the people that are involved with that, and you don't face it. And then you look back on it and you're like, wow, I spent 3 weeks talking to everybody about this, that, and the other. I didn't ask my mom how, you know, her back was feeling. I didn't ask my buddy how his job was doing. Like, it was all about me. And at the end of the day, like, yeah, I appreciate those people are there for me, and I appreciate that they spoke to me. But I wasted all of that time. I made no new memories. All I did was regurgitate a conversation for 3 weeks, and I still have to call this person and deal with it. Like, it's crazy how much time goes by. And
one word right there, time.
Yeah. Well, and that thing that we don't, it's something that it can always be used, but it can never be replenished.
Yes, sir. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. And that's one that you asked me earlier. That was, my mom didn't teach me that, but when I see my mom die, you know, because, you know, I had a dream of, you know what I'm saying, buying my mom a car in the house, and when she died, it was like, man, time don't wait on nobody. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to be thankful to people in your life, you know what I'm saying, value them, and you know what I'm saying, and cherish every moment in your life and take advantage of every opportunity, because like I said, when my mom and my dad died 9 months apart, it was like, dang, time don't wait on nobody, literally, you know. And my friend just died, 2 weeks ago, you know what I'm saying, and I was just having a full conversation with him, you know what I mean, talking about changing his life, and literally, you know what I'm saying, he's gone, and it's just like, man, like, life is not a game, you know what I'm saying? It's not a game. You got to really value and love the people that's here, you know what I'm saying, that love you, and really take advantage and chase your dreams, man, and value the small things, because, man, in the blink of an eye, you could be gone from your loved ones, and you know what I'm saying? So, time, you said the big key is time, man. People got to value time and value other people's time. That's communicating. If you got a problem with somebody, I'll come to them direct because I value their time. You know what I'm saying? So, there's a lot of things to be grateful for and stuff like that, and time is one of them.
Yeah, man. You know, and I think, and that's the thing, like you said, like time waits on no man, no woman. Like, it is an hourglass. I said, when we're born, God flips that hourglass, and it doesn't get flipped back.
Yes, sir. Oh, dang. I love that. I'll use that one. I like that.
You know, but that's, I mean, that's the thing. And it's like, if you think about, like every second of your life is like a milligrain of sand. You know, it's like when that sand falls, you go, wow, well, that was just a second. Oh, well, that was just another second. That was an hour. That was a day. But it's like, yeah, you can't get back Wednesday, February 10th, 2021. Like, you're not going to get that day back. So, how did you spend it? Like, I'm not saying we don't worry. I'm not saying we don't do this. But, you know what really hit me? Because I've worried my whole life. I'm not going to lie about it. I did. It was a struggle that I've had my whole life, and I have my moments still. But worrying never solves a problem, and it doesn't make anything better. Like, if you worry about something, it legitimately doesn't change anything about the problem. It just stresses you out.
And have more problems.
Right, and then you get more problems because stress causes ailments, and then ailments cause, you know, a lower quality of life, and a lower quality of life causes you to stress more.
Yes, sir.
So that we're in this like vicious cycle of like, listen, when people stress me out, I will say to them, I'll say like, listen, this is what's on me, this is what's on my mind, this is what's happening, you know, can we work on this? And their words are great, but actions are better. And because I want to see you do it. And if you don't, I was in this situation recently. I had somebody in my life, and I said, listen, these things are stressful. I don't need this in my life. Let's work on this. Let's talk about it. Let's figure it out. And we worked on it. We talked about it, figured it out. Hit the same wall. Work on it, talk about it, figure it out. Hit the same wall. After a few weeks, I'm going, listen, my stomach hurts, my chest hurts, I got no energy, I want to sleep all the time, you know, you're giving me a headache, I can't focus, like, and then I had to say, like, is this going to end? And then it didn't, and I was like, okay, then you got to go. And
Yes,
people get on you like that, and especially with me, right? Because people like you and I believe in God. When you take somebody out of your life, they're like, well, what would Jesus do? And I go, no. No. Jesus would not want me to be stressed out of my dang mind every day. You know, Jesus, I said, Jesus probably lean into me and go, listen, my father made all them people, but that girl crazy. You know, but you know, it's like, it's the reality of like, when somebody is taken out of your life or they get a timeout from you because of how they treat you, what do they say? They say, how are you going to do this to me? And I go, no. You did this to you. Ain't nobody do it to you but you. And it's crazy how you ask a person, stop stressing me out, stop worrying, stop doing these things. And people can't do it in the family, friends, whatever. And all I say is like, hey, I'm not going to be around negative energy. And they get mad at you because you took them out of your life, when in actuality, all you're asking them to do is stop being negative or stop being stressful. And it's like, you know, anybody that loves them should be telling them the same thing. So, I don't know. I'm just always baffled by people that can't stop doing negative things, and then they want to know why nobody wants to talk to them.
No, honestly, I ain't gonna lie. I'm happy for this talk this morning. I don't want to cut you off, but I needed to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Just understanding it's not you. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's they put themselves in that situation. Like, it's crazy how everybody goes through problems, but they're all kind of similar. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You don't know what is planned, and the words you were just saying right now made a lot of sense. You know what I'm saying? Because that's reality. You know, you can ask a person to change a million of times. I go through that with friends and, you know, relationships and everything, and they don't want to. They want. It's the same thing with P. It's no action. There's a lot of talk. There's a lot of talk. There's a lot of talk. It's Shamarko. Me personally, I'm a passionate person. So if you know what I'm saying, if I feel like we're trying to fix something and move forward, and I don't feel like there's no action towards it, like I reiterate it over and over and over and over again, like you said, and it gets tiring and stressful. Now I understand this. You know, so I used to blame myself. Like you said, I'll take care of a lot of people. So, you know, a lot of people, you know that talk. They use that to. They know if you tell me, oh, you want to do this or live your dreams to do this, I'm going to push you towards that way. But if I see you on the couch and, you know what I'm saying, not doing what I'm going to get on you all the time. I'm make sure, but now I know this is, you know what I'm saying, it stresses me out more, you know what I'm saying, it gets me out my element. And you're right, it's not my fault. So I appreciate your words, man. It's crazy how God always comes on time, you know, about things, you know. So that's very important, man, that people to understand that it's not their fault, that people can't change, you know what I'm saying. And it's like I always go back to gratitude, is being grateful for each other, you know what I'm saying. If you love each other, if this is your friend, you know what I'm saying, they telling something to you, they coming to you about something important to change something to help each other, you know what I'm saying, they should be grateful and thankful that somebody, you know what I'm saying, will do that loves them. So they should listen and understand. But, you know, people have their own ways.
Yeah, man. And speaking here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Cafe Kubal Studios with Shamarko Thomas, like that's the thing. Like that, like I was in that situation. I'm not gonna lie about it. Like people that close to me know, like toward the end of last year, I got, you know, I had somebody that came into my life, and I'm not gonna lie to you, Shamarko, and you can feel this, I think, is that when they were in my house, I felt like it was almost like there was like a demon in the house. Like I almost felt like there was a presence that followed them, like a shadow. And that shadow just like, it started to come at me. And when they would leave, the shadow would go. And I felt like the peace, but I tried like you. I tried to help, to say, don't do this. Do things better with your life. And it stressed me out so much that I actually ended up in the doctor's office. And I was like, I'm having a chest x-ray, I'm getting blood work done, and because I was so stressed and it was manifesting. And then I said to myself, I'm like, did I have any of this before this person came in? No. Like I was at the height of my life. I was at the healthiest of my life. And so why would I let this happen? I'm like, well, because I care, because I want to see them okay, because, they've had a rough life. I want to show them that their life can be better. I want to be there for them. And it was like, yeah, Dan, but you know what? You're standing next to a fire trying to tell the fire that it's okay, but you can't put the fire out. So even though you're trying to protect it, it's burning the heck out of you.
Burning yourself, yeah.
You know, and how many times have we tried to wrap our arms around fire and got burned?
Plenty of times. Plenty of times, and that's life, though. And that aspect is you was trying to heal a person, but you was hurting yourself at the end of the day because you was bringing that negative thoughts and energy to yourself. Because I feel like when a person that does not understand what you're trying to do for them, or they just talk, they don't see the other side where you're trying to help and it's stressing you out worse than they are. You know what I'm saying? Because they probably not even thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're thinking about how to fix the problem, but they're not. They just going by day. So I feel like we put more stress on ourselves, and that's why, you know what I'm saying, the negative stuff comes because we're thinking about it. We're trying to figure it out instead of just healing ourselves and understanding, man, God has the plan, you know? Yeah, why would you want to be around people that value don't value you? You know what I'm saying?
And the thing is, and like, I'm gonna be real with everybody, for my life in 35 years and some change, is that, in my opinion, from what I've experienced, my stress has come from dealing with unsolvable problems. You know, my stresses come from people where if you put your happiness on the outside, you throw your happiness over to somebody, you say, catch it, right? Like, this is where I don't want people to get misconstrued. Love is, I'm not talking about that, okay? If somebody loves you, they care about you, family member, significant other, child, you know, friend, whatever, neighbor. Like, if somebody loves you and they care about you, they add to your happiness.
Exactly.
But your happiness it should be at your core. It should come from you outward. It's a light that shines outward. It's not you being dark hoping that somebody shines a light on your face. It's a light that's inward that comes out. And I can honestly tell you that my stress that's ever physically manifested, got me run down, my throat hurts, my chest hurts, oh my God, I don't feel good. Like, my stress has always come from trying to figure somebody else out, try and get what they're doing, get what they're about, and try to know why they treat me this way. I'm a nice person. I treat people with respect. Like, that happened to me yesterday. I got disrespected by somebody, and I was like, dude, why? And I kept thinking and racking my brain, and I was on the phone with my mom, and I trust her like crazy, and she's my first best friend. And I'm talking to her on the phone, and I'm like, man, my chest got tight. Why? I'm short of breath. Like, why did I let myself, like, my body was saying, like, God was saying inside of me, like, hey, knocking on me going, hey, okay, you talked about it for 2 minutes. Now it's 10. Now it's 12. Like, look at your body. This person got a hold on you. And if we all look back at our stress, think about it. It's people and situations that we let get a hold on us that bring us down. We allow people and situations to bring us down. And if we didn't stress about what other people did, I'm going to tell you, we wouldn't have that much stress.
Not at all.
Somebody loves you and they care about you. They add to your happiness. But your happiness bring us down. We allow...
I don't want them in my life because, you know what I'm saying, it's a drainer. You know what I'm saying? It's really draining. How you can't value a person trying to elevate you or, you know what I'm saying, give you advice to push. You know what I'm saying? Just like the situation you were talking about, you know what I'm saying? You was trying to elevate the person, you know what I'm saying, make the situation better. If you can't value that, I don't need to be around that. Why do I stress and kill myself? One person wants to stress and kill themselves for me, you know what I'm saying? So that's like the ultimate thing, you know, and like, it doesn't make sense. That concept, I'm happy you talking about this because this is literally like, it was meant today. I don't know how to explain it. It was meant today, man. Everything you saying, I need you to hear. You know what I'm saying? Just not just on relationships, just with friendships and all that, man. Listening to you, realize how much stress I put on myself because Shamarko, like you said, I love helping people. You know, I help my family. I help, you know what I'm saying, other people. You know what I'm saying? That's what them days, like you said, your heart racing and all that stuff, you don't know what's going on. It's because I put so much pressure on myself about others, you know what I'm saying? Trying to heal them and not trying to heal myself. Like you said, it comes inside, you know what I'm saying? That's the process with this pandemic I'm going through right now. healing myself, you know what I'm saying? My whole life is always take care of everybody else. So like now Shamarko finally take care of his mental, his spiritual, you know what I'm saying? Who I really am. You know what I'm saying? I'm bigger than football, you know what I'm saying? I'm finally realizing that, you know what I'm saying, growing up and getting into other stuff and falling in love with other things and, you know what I'm saying, valuing my daughters and my kids and stuff is, I can't stress. I gotta live a long time. I gotta bless. I'm gonna value people that value me.
Yeah, man, and like that, I've learned in my life that this past year, when everybody was kind of like, what do we do? And I got hit with reality before Corona hit. And when I got hit with that, I was like, man, I'm stressed. Like, I'm not okay. I can't control anybody else. I can't control any other situations. I can only control me. And I felt like I had lost control of that. Like, I felt like I had lost control of me. And I was like, man, I got to get right. And you know, and stuff happens. And I was trying to figure it out. And, you know, I had some heartache and at the beginning of the year. And I felt trapped. I felt trapped in my mind and I felt trapped in my house. So I just left the house and I started walking. And I just started walking and I was mad and I was calling people and I was crying and I was feeling it in my chest and I just kept walking and I'm yelling and upset and I feel like I can't sleep and I kept walking and I didn't want to eat anything and I kept walking and now you know it's been almost a year and I just kept walking and I'm in the best shape of my life. I can talk myself through problems now. And like this morning, I woke up and an old habit came like ringing in my head of like something I would worry about in the past. And I said, okay, it's here. I acknowledge it. Why is it here? And what can I do to change it? And in the past, I would have just worried. I would have freaked out. I would have called everybody. And now I'm like, you know what? What can I do to make myself feel more at ease? And you know, and if that doesn't work, what else can I do to make myself feel more at ease? I've never been drunk. I'm not a person that does drugs. I don't smoke cigarettes. You know, I respect women. So like, you know, to me, I didn't have like a place to go to try and sink something, but you know, it's like I used to get caught and trapped in my thoughts. So to me, it's like, okay, my thoughts, I know that if my thoughts get a hold of me instead of me a hold of them, I know I'm going to be trapped in a prison, and I know I'm going to trip, and I know I'm going to fall, because that's what happens. So if I know I'm going to trip, and I know I'm going to fall, and I know what this feels like, and I know it can be a slippery slope, what am I going to do to stop it, as opposed to just doing what a lot of people do, and you shrug your shoulders and go, well, I feel this way, I guess I'm going to lose it again. You know what I mean? Like it's... you accept it. Right, you have to be willing to look yourself in the mirror and go, hey, this is bugging me. Why is it bugging me? What can I do to change it? How do I make it better? And for me, walking, singing, listening to music, working on my own music, breathing, you know, going and watching a movie. What'd you say?
I said we're so alike, man. Like that's what I do when I get frustrated. Walk, you know what I'm saying? I like to be by water, you know what I'm saying? Listen to music. Like we so alike. That's why we get along.
Yeah, but that's the thing, like Shamarko, is like you and I, like I respected you so much. You know, I felt like it, you know, from afar at times. Then we got to talk a little bit, and now you know I look at you know our relationship and our connection, and I genuinely respect the person that you are, and I respect like where you come from and what you're about. But you know, I'm gonna throw this at you because I know that you and I, life happens, we get caught up in stuff. Like we need to talk more, because every time we talk on the show, people tell me like it moved them, it made them think about this was brought up, whatever. But we always move each other. So I'm gonna put money where the mouth is here in this and say we're talking about all these positive things, but you and I always do better when we're together, yet we don't talk as much as we should. So we can't be hypocrites this morning. We're gonna need to talk a little bit more, I would suggest.
That's the deal. We're gonna tap in more then. We're gonna build this together, man. We're gonna talk more. We're gonna help each other, just build each other mentally, spiritually. You know what I'm saying? I'm with it. I need it. Honestly, you're talking the truth. I need it, man. Honestly, today you're making my day better. So I'd rather have that, not even just on the show, just personal. You know what I'm saying? I really appreciate you, man. And things, you know what I'm saying? These interviews help me out a lot. So you're right. You're definitely right. You can't be hypocrites, and that's a deal.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's something, because it is. I mean, you and I are cut from the same cloth. We went through different things, but we're also the people that, like, we care so much. And I got told by, and I want to shout out my mentor, Tom DeSantis. I call him my Feeney from, like, Boy Meets World. He's in my phone as Feeney D for DeSantis, and he's been through so much in his life. He just went through some other stuff. So I want to pray to God that's, Mr. D, that you're healthy, you're safe, you're happy, you have a long life ahead of you, that you just got started, that you heal completely and for good. No matter what, you heal through God, you handle whatever comes your way well, and that you and I have so many more conversations to have, and that you have a fantastic life, because that man has been through way too much, and God, I know God is with him, and he's been through everything, and yet he believes in God, like, no question. So
blessings to him and his family, man. That's the honor, man. You know what I'm saying? You got a person on your side that's got that type of fight, and you see it in them, man. I send my prayers. I don't know what's going on, I just send my prayers and blessings to him, man. I hope you stay strong.
Well, and the thing is like, and thank you for that. And I know that'll mean the world to Mr. D. And he, when him and I were talking one time, he said to me, he said, listen, he goes, I don't say this about my students. He's like, I don't build people's up, people's ego. I'm not trying to do that. I'll never forget the conversation we had. And he said, this is where the world loves. And then he rose his other hand higher. He said, this is where Dan Tortora loves. And he said, consequently, this is where the world hurts. And had a bunch of people here. And then he rose his hand higher and said, this is where Dan Tortora hurts. And he said, think about that. You love beyond. And so you hurt beyond what, like, normal people go through. And he said, think about how hard, and this hit me like a ton of bricks, and it still hits me today. It put tears in my eyes, is that because the person that I was dating, this was like over a decade ago, it was like he knew, like, this isn't the person for you. He would never tell me what to do. He would just go, Daniel, like, hello. And what'd you say?
I say he give me the signs, but he don't want to step on the toes. He just let you know for yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and so he said that when he said, this is how you love, this is how they love, this is how you hurt, this is how they hurt. He said, think about how hard it's going to be to find a woman that matches your level. And that hit me, and I was like, well, now I feel like it's even more impossible. And he just looked at me, he's like, this is how God made you. Like, this is how he made you. He didn't make a mistake, but this is how he made you. And you have to be cognizant of the fact that you love hard and you hurt hard. And, you have to navigate through that. And you will find that. You will have that love. But the thing is like, the day that I know I'm with the right person is the day that he leans in and grabs my arm and he says, good job, my boy. I know that. I know that. But, but I'll never forget that he said, this is where they love, this is where you love, this is where they hurt, this is where you hurt. Because it wasn't an ego thing. It wasn't a put me on a pedestal. It was just like, you go beyond, and there's a beauty in finding that euphoria, but there's also a pain in knowing that you care so deeply about people.
Man, I cannot. Man, I need to get but no, I'm being serious, bro. You about to have me in kind of like tears. I don't want to say that, because you think Shamarko's a tough guy, you know what I'm saying? But I'm here. But that is my life too. Like, I never thought of it like that before. People always ask me, like, why are you so passionate? Why are you so this or this? Like, because, like you said, I might love harder, you know what I'm saying? So I might hurt a little harder than y'all too. I never understood. Man, thank you. I don't know what to say. Now I'm starting to realize, you know what I'm saying? Understand. I'm just different, you know what I'm saying? We're just different. Our love is just a little bit deeper, you know what I'm saying? It brings more pain because we feel it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I never even thought about that. I never. I appreciate you. I don't know what to say, but I appreciate you. It's brought some light to my life and make me understand the reason why I am the way I am.
Yeah, because Shamarko, and that's the thing. God doesn't make mistakes. Okay, I woke up this morning with that pain in my chest, that overthinking, that stuff that got on me, and I have no problem saying that on my show because people need to hear it. It's like, Dan, why are you sharing your personal that you have pain or that you have that? I was like, because somebody listening today has pain, and they need to hear that my life ain't perfect. Like, my life is near perfect. God has given me the greatest life ever. I mean, I appreciate all of it. Like, to me, it is perfection because of the family he gave me, because of the friends he gave me, because of the conversations like this that he's given to me, because of my fight. You know, the funniest thing, well, not the funniest thing, but, you know, years ago when my marriage dissolved, and she came home one night, and it was the end. It was the culmination, and horrible stuff happened, and just finding stuff out, and me just kind of looking at her standing in my hallway going, wow, this 7.5 years, this is done. And the next day, I got on the air and I did my show. And people were like, how are you breathing right now? And I said, I can't stop. This is me. I won't let her take me. She can't have me. She had my time. She can't have any more. And I just said, I can't quit. I was like, if she takes this, then she takes everything. You know, she took my time. She took that vow. But if she takes this, she takes it all. And she can't have it all. And because she had it all and she lost it, I can't give any more to her. And getting up that morning and doing the show, it was like, how did you do it? And I said, how can I not? How can I not? I love this. And I had this way before her, and I will have it way after her. And I have to be here. And in those 2 days that I did those shows, that Monday and Tuesday, I spoke my truth. I spoke positivity. I spoke it in a broad scope to try and help as many people as I could. And I got messages that came in. Thank you, Dan. This is going on with my daughter. Thank you, Dan. This happened with my dad. Thank you. You know, you're speaking the truth. It helped me to do this. Out of pain, out of frustration, I could have stopped. I kept going, and it helped somebody else. And then that person hopefully helps somebody else. But that is I had to get up the next day. And they said, why? I said, because it can't stop. It's not an obsession with work. It's not any of that. It's the fact that if I didn't do the show that morning, then I would have lost Dan Tortora. And I was never going to be willing to lose him. I could lose her. I could lose a million people like her. But I could never lose Dan Tortora because that would be the end game. And getting up and doing that show in the morning, I was like, this is me. You're not stopping. You got this. And I'll never forget one of the quotes, and it was from a movie. I think it was from I Am Legend, and with Will Smith, and I love Will Smith. And in the movie, he's talking in his house, and I think he was talking about Bob Marley. And he said there was an event that Bob Marley was supposed to be at, or he was supposed to perform, and right before it, he was on stage and he got shot, and he went, and so he's in the hospital, and he's all bandaged up. He makes it through. He's laying in the hospital bed, and he's got this wound that has to heal. He shows up the day he's supposed to perform. He gets on stage and he performs, and he's standing at the microphone, all bandaged up and everything. And they said, aren't you scared? Aren't you scared? Aren't you in pain? You just got shot. Aren't you worried somebody's going to come back and try to kill you? Aren't you just standing up here in pain? How are you even standing right now? And he looked into the camera and said, the people trying to make this world a bad place never take a day off. So how can I?
Yeah.
And I never, and that hit me in the morning, was you can't take a day off, because if you leave the sheep to the wolves, they'll get eaten. But if you stand here, there's a fighting chance you could save some of these sheep. And so I don't fight for me every day. I fight I fight to the best of my ability for all of us.
That's amazing, man. You're a great and amazing person, man. You can change a lot of people's life. Because honestly, man, you done opened up my eyes in the aspect of my life right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally, every word you said today, I need it, man. So you're definitely changing people's lives, man. You change your minds, man. You becoming very influential in my life, man. I don't know what to say, man. Like literally, all the words you said today touched on everything. Like this pandemic, that you know what I'm saying, the process I've been going through, just with friends and all that stuff. So, man, I really thank you. It's like it was God meant. Like it was, you know what I'm saying, God sent. Mr. Shamarko, you need to hear this. You know what I'm saying? Drop everything right now, and you know what I'm saying, listen in. So I ain't been talking a lot. I just been listening because I really needed to hear this, man. I appreciate you so much, man.
And he's got this in Shamarko. I mean, that has to heal. The feeling's mutual because I need it.
Listen in. So
and so many times on the show, I don't know if people know it. I guess people that know me know it. But when I'm speaking about things and people are like, "Oh, I needed to hear that today," I'm like, I spoke about it because I needed to hear it.
Oh my God, you said, man, you sound like man. You sound like I be saying the same. You sound like twins, man. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, I don't know if we reading the same books or we got the same soul and spirit, man. It's like I don't know. It's like we got the same mentality, and I'm happy. I need to start. How I said, you supposed to surround your people, you know what I'm saying, that's got the same mentality, or you know what I'm saying, higher, smarter. You know what I'm saying, like. And you right, man. We gotta contact more and connect because I need these days, you know, to talk and hear this, and you know what I'm saying, hear from a different aspect because you know what I'm saying, it's in my lifestyle is Shamarko, you play in the NFL, you the leader. You know, no, I like to sit back and listen and learn too. I want to be the student. You know what I'm saying? I need that piece. I need that understanding. So that's what you give me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy we got this friendship and we developed this, and I want it to be more. You know what I'm saying?
You know, and that's the greatest thing in the world because I remember when you left and I was like, I got to get his number. I got to get in touch with him. I respect him. Like, I got to talk to him. And I fought and I fought and I fought and I went on like social media and I reached out and I tried to do what I could. And I did not say legitimately, I was like, I am not stopping until I get in touch with Shamarko and we do an interview and I get to tell him how I feel about him as a person and how, I appreciate him and he moves me and I didn't forget plays that he made and this and that because it wasn't a play, it was how he lived his life. There was one play when we talked about it before, when you hit the tight end and you Superman jumped out. I was in the front of the press box and you ran at this guy and you put your head forward and you slammed into his chest with your head and you went down on the ground. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I was like, is he alive? Did he pass out? Does he have a concussion? Like, what's going on? But it was like, and I asked you about that play and you're like, that's how I live my life. Like, I give it all. And you could tell, like, when you hit somebody, you hit them with life. Like, you hit him with everything you've been through, everything you felt, all the adversity you had, every pain, everybody that told you couldn't, that you wouldn't, mad that your mom's not there, frustration and toughness in trying to, raise kids when you are a kid and trying to figure that out. When you hit somebody and you let them know, hey, like, I'm here, know me, realize me, I'm in this world, I matter. And I felt that. And I was like, I will go to the ends of the earth to get in touch with this guy because they don't make people like him. And I need to be around energy of people that give it all because so many of us quit. And I hate that word. And I don't know, man. Like when life hits you, you hit back. And that takes a special soul to hit back because so many of us lay on the ground and you didn't. You got up and you said, you know what, life? If you're coming at me 10 times, I'm coming at you times 20. And I had so much respect for you in the beginning that I was like, I'm not going to stop no matter what it takes to get in touch with this man because I want him to be a part of my life and he's going to have to look me in the eye and tell me no because I'm going to ask.
I respect that, man. I appreciate you so much. No, man, it's all love, man. Since the time, man, we contact each other, it's always been love, man. You always bring that light to my life, man. Like, I don't consider myself, like, I know people consider myself as, you know what I'm saying, I went through all that stuff. I just consider it life, you know what know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't understand as a kid, you know what I'm saying? I knew what I was going through, but I didn't understand all of it, you know. I thank God that He gave me a great mom and a great foundation to keep me pushing, you know what I'm saying? And I basically, my whole life, I just wanted to motivate people and just take care of my family. And, like, that's what I see how I was doing, you know what I'm saying? I never thought I was above nobody or nothing. I always thought I was just regular Shamarko, but just to hear from your perspective and stuff, man, it's like, man, I really fulfill my purpose, you know, if I can change one person's life or motivate anybody, you know what I'm saying, in this world. You know, and that was the ultimate goal. It wasn't to be, man, the face or anything, you know, it was to take care of my family, you know what I'm saying, make sure my mom name live on, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, man. And, like, and that's the thing is, like, you have fought and like you said, making sure your mom lives on. I mean, I gotta, before we get to the final piece here with Shamarko Thomas inside of the Cafe Kubal studios here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, I gotta ask you, if your mom was here right now, like right now in this moment, she's here in spirit. I know she watching on. I know she's going, that's my baby. You know, like I know she's sitting here going, you know, like I know she's going. She's like, you know, she nodding her head. She's like, they talking some truth today. Like I know that. I know she's sitting here going like all right, okay, yeah, I taught him that. Like, and my mom's sitting here going, yeah, and I taught him that too. You know what I mean? Like, and so, you know, I know my mom's giving that like high five to you know, to your mom. I know she's reaching up to the sky right now and slapping her a high five. And my mom's got to reach high. She's like 4'11", bro. So, but but what if your mom was sitting with us right now? What do you think she would say?
She'd tell you thank you. You know what I'm saying? Because my mom see everything I go through in the dark. You know what I'm saying? She'd just tell you thank you, not me. You. You know what I'm saying? For helping my son. You know what I'm saying? Keep him positive. You know what I'm saying? And keeping a lot of him and making him realize that. You know what I'm saying? He's important. You know what I'm saying? He is. You know what I'm saying? He's more than a football player. You know what I'm saying? So that was she'll probably say. She'll say thank you to you. You know what I'm saying? You're a very special person, man. You don't understand. You know, you might think I'm a major person in the NFL, whatever I did and stuff, but you didn't touch me in a certain way today. It made me realize a lot of things. So, you know what I'm saying? I think my mom would say thank you. She appreciates you.
I did not expect that. I'm so happy that I have your picture up on the video feed right now because I'm crying. So, like,
that's real, man.
Wow. Yeah.
The words today is like like I said, you touched every point. You know what I'm saying? And I know my mom, she sends me messages all the times, like signals and signs. You know what I'm saying? But it's like she sent it to me today. So you know what I'm saying? She'll say thank you, man. Like, really, man, I appreciate you, really. I really do.
Dude, I appreciate.
You can solve a lot of problems. You know what I'm saying? Answer a lot of it. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even know what to say to you. I woke up this morning going, man, I gotta solve my problems. I gotta get right. And now you're saying all this stuff, dude. I don't know what to say. And I am like the when you said my mom would say thank you to you. I mean, I legitimately just had a moment here in the studio, and whew. So, but you know that I don't even know what to say to that, man, because I don't even know your mom, but I respect her because she made you, you know what I mean? And she raised you. So, like, yeah, I don't know how I deserve any of those words, but I will tell you that that's an incredible that's an incredible thing to come from you, and I will do my best for you and for your mother to live up to those words that you gave me.
I appreciate you, man. You better get emotional.
Dude, I am too. We're normally talking about Chick-fil-A and stuff. Now I'm out here crying. So, like, you know.
No, man, but it's all love, man. I genuinely, man, I respect you a lot, man. You know, it's crazy because the people you think that's in your corner, you know what I'm saying? You think family and stuff is in your corner and they always got your back. It's not even the people, you know what I'm saying? It's the people that you wouldn't expect. You know what I'm saying? That's why I treasure. I know my mom value this opportunity times like signals and signs, man. But you done made an impact on my life. You know what I'm saying? People you think that's really a real impact. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't thank you enough, man. Like, for real. Like, today was meant. Today was meant, and it's an honor. It's an honor that it happened this way. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's the right person. It's the right, you know what I'm saying? It is the right move. I don't even know what to say, man. Like, I'm just literally touched everything I need to hear. And I know it's God. I know it's my mom. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you. I don't know what to say no more. I appreciate you so much.
Well, if that ain't full circle, man, because I started this thing appreciating you, and never in a million years did I think that I would hear any of this stuff. And so, I mean, and that's not because I don't love myself. It's not because I don't work hard and try to be the best I can be. It's just, you know, I pride myself on being a humble man. I do not carry an ego. I work my butt off. I try to be good to everybody. And, I mean, if Shamarko Thomas thinks something of me, then you know, then I think my mom, I think my dad, I think my grandfathers, my grandmothers would be proud to hear that, because, yeah, I mean, for how I think of you, to have any type of that back in 1% from you is, you know, that definitely, I'm going to carry that, and I'm going to make myself keep that at the front of my mind, because if I have your respect, then that weighs a lot more than a lot of people to me.
Keep doing what you're doing, man. You're helping out the world in the right aspect, man. You're preaching the right things. You're saying everything right, man. It's helping me, so I can't lie about it. I feel like when you were speaking, man, I felt it. You know what I'm saying? Every word, and literally, it was like, Shamarko, just shut up and listen. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, man, it's something special about you, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Like I said, I really appreciate you and I respect you. You know what I'm saying? So, just, man, yeah, you definitely know what you're doing. Like, my heart is racing right now, because literally, you know, you pray for answers, you know, in life, you know, and, you know, God sends them in mysterious ways, and I just never expected, you know what I'm saying, like this, you know what I'm saying? We always have great conversations, but literally every word you said meant something to me. So, like I said, I appreciate you.
Well, bro, I don't have any words, man. I mean, I respect you way before this, and dude, if I'm ever having, I'm gonna listen to this about 16 times after the show today.
I'm about to write notes and everything, all the words you said, all that stuff, man. I definitely think we definitely stay in contact, man. Text each other, you know what I'm saying? Motivate each other, man. I need it. I don't know about you. I need it.
I need it. Bro, I need it this morning. I woke up this morning with, like, you know, like, just this feeling where I'm like, man, I'm not going back there. Like, I'm not getting in my own head again. Like, I'm not doing that. I can't do that. And I just, like, and I felt that. And I was like, you got to be better, Dan. We got to get through this. You got to be better. And now I'm sitting here, like, hearing all these words, positive words from you and what you think of me. And I'm sitting here going, like, you know, I need to be better. And you're saying that. And I'm just, dude, I don't know what to say. I feel like I should shut up and listen. You should shut up and listen. Everybody's going to hear dead air. So, like, but my last piece, as we always do in the spirit of fairness, is to allow you to put me on the proverbial hot seat in rapid fire. And so you can, I know this conversation has gone to so many places, but you can ask me anything you want. I have to answer it. And I've gotten some some really, really good questions this week. Tammy Reese had me yesterday. She goes, I want to talk about Valentine's Day, and I was like, what? You know, I was no. I was like, no. And she, you know, and then she was like, oh, favorite movie and favorite. I was like, oh, okay. You know, I was like, don't be asking me. But yeah. Yeah, I was like, you know, I felt like Dave Chappelle. I'm like, but like, you know, I'll never forget that when he was like impersonating John F. Kennedy. He's like, my family's here. So like, but so in the spirit of fairness, you can ask me anything you want. But you know, I usually give 3. I'm gonna give you 4 because you gave me so much today that I need to take with me and just like digest. So you got 4 questions. You can ask me anything in the world. For those of you looking forward to Fantasy Football Power Hour presented by the Wildcat, will be coming up in just a few minutes here. But Shamarko, you got 4 questions. I am on the hot seat. Go ahead.
I got one question, just based off of a Super Bowl situation. Who you really thought was going to win, the Chiefs or the Tampa?
Okay, I wanted the Chiefs to win because, Tom Brady done gotten so greedy. You know what I mean? Like, that man's got 707. He's got 792 rings. He's been in the Super Bowl 1,016 times, even though there's only been 55 of them. And, so I wanted to see the Chiefs win, and my friend Brandon is, I was his best man in his wedding. He's a Chiefs fan. Like, I love him. Andy Reid is, he resurrected himself. Pat Mahomes, this guy's like, shortest concussion protocol ever. And then, and then he's got the foot injury. He's limping around, and this man is like, I've never seen a human being stay upright and run backward and not make mistakes. Like, that man made so few mistakes running 25 yards backward. He doesn't get tackled. He doesn't get sacked. Like, I mean, I don't. What'd you say?
I said it's ridiculous. Like, literally, you can throw the ball any angle.
They said he ran like 400 yards, like, in all of, like, it's insane to think, like, this man is playing. It's like playing against somebody in Madden that has every cheat code ever, and he's so good. So I really wanted to see that. You what?
The best dude in the world on your team.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cheat.
Well, every time Tyreek Hill catches the ball, every time that ball comes in, he doesn't catch it like every other receiver, turn and go upfield. He catches it and immediately tries to fake and then cut a different way. The moment he gets the ball, he wants to burn somebody.
Go.
Like, that man is insane. And then you got Travis Kelce, who I think is the best tight end in the league, and I thought that for the last 3 years. But so, and then you got Clyde Edwards-Helaire and all that. So, I wanted to see the Chiefs win, but deep down, I knew it was Brady. I know you can't count Brady out. My gut told me Brady. I should have listened to my gut. I'm happy for him. I never called him the GOAT, but he's been to 10. He's won 7. So people don't even go to 1. He went to 10. So, this man's been in the Super Bowl more than any NFL franchise. I think something like that. I don't know. He's been there 10 times. He has won more games, more Super Bowls. He has won more championship games than any NFL franchise, which is insane. He has 7. And so I think at this point, 2 different teams took Tampa out of the basement, won with them in his first season there at 43 years old, been there 10 times, won 7 of them. Yeah, he's the GOAT. So a couple years ago, to everybody in Boston that sent me 500 Twitter messages when I said he wasn't the greatest, I was like, maybe he's number 2, but I was basing it on arm strength. When I said that, and I had that conversation with Rob Drummond, I got no fewer than 500 hate mail messages. So I will tell my people that I watched Ted enough that I can do my wicked head Boston accent, and so I can tell you all without a shadow of a mother freaking doubt, he is the GOAT, greatest. He is better than Dunkin' Donuts on acid, but the only thing better than Dunkies is Cafe Cubal in Syracuse. So I will tell you that without any shadow of a doubt is that I will give the nod to Brady as the GOAT, and to connect it all the way back to Ted from the first movie, and to connect it to my Twitter war with Boston, I will say, I'm sorry, I was just sending a tweet.
Hey, you probably not the only person sending apologies, man. Everybody fought that, man. Not calling Tom Brady the GOAT, man.
Yeah, he's the GOAT.
Don't lie.
He's the GOAT. What's your second one for me?
Let's see. Let me guess. What's a tradition in your family though? Like what? Like in my family, we have like family reunions, come together. What's like a big like generation? Like what's a tradition, past or present, that y'all do? Like come together.
We used to have family Christmas parties, and I'm really sad about that we don't anymore. And then we had a picnic, and so I'm Italian Hispanic, and then we found out that we might have some blood in the Sudan from like way back when my family was in southern Italy. And so so like that's cool. And figuring that out. So I grew up thinking I was 100% Italian, but I actually have all this. But in my Italian family, there's the Tortoras, the Nuzzos, the Albinos, the Pietrafezas. There's like this whole group. And basically, I can't date an Italian woman from Central New York because I'm related to her. So, yeah, for the most part. And so we would have these big old parties. And if you want to know how, like, Italian we are, they wrote an article in the newspaper years ago. My cousin shared it, my cousin Derek, wrote an article in the newspaper years and years and years ago about our family picnic. And all it was an article about my family getting together and having a picnic and all of the members of the family that were there. And I was like, I don't think it gets more mob than that. I was like, did one of my like great uncles go, hey, you better write an article in the paper about us. I was like, what? Like, there's nothing in the article. It's like all of these families have all of these children, and they all ate together. Have a great Saturday. Like, there's no reason to have it there unless they were running the show. But so we did that, and then I would say, Shamarko, I know my life is changing for the better.
Yes, sir.
And I know that I know that like I'm going towards something. I feel it. And I'm excited about it because my favorite stuff was Christmas back in the day, and we would go to my I called her Gammy Miller. We would go to my dad's mom's and we would go see my grandparents on my dad's side on Christmas Eve. And we would go there. We wouldn't open any gifts, or maybe one, but we would open up our stocking. And my grandmother would like stockpile these things. They were great. And we would open up the stocking, and we would have dinner with her, and she would make like all like the fishes and the stuff. And then Christmas morning, I'd wake up with my mom and my dad, and we'd sit under the tree. And I always wrote a letter to Santa, and and just would write about my life and whatever. We would do that, and then Christmas Day later on, we would go to my grandma and grandpa on my mom's side, and we would eat there, and we would open gifts with my mom's side of the family under the tree. So we had 3 Christmases, and then technically we kind of had 4 because my friend James would come over with my godparents right after we opened gifts on Christmas morning, and then we would do that. So, yeah, so I miss all of that, but I believe. I know things are changing for the better, and one of the things that I love is that James and I still get together, and we got to do it still this year. We haven't done it yet, but I bought his gift before Christmas. But because of Corona, we get together like our families used to, and he comes to my house, and we get each other a gift that's like really meaningful because we knew each other like growing up from when I was born. We're only a couple months apart. And we get each other a gift, and then we sit with each other for a couple hours and just kind of celebrate our friendship and talk about our life.
That's amazing, man. That's a real friendship. That's love.
Yeah, so it's good. So shout out to James. And I have your gift, you jerk, so you need to come pick it up. But no, he knows I'm kidding. But so last year I got us like matching T-shirts from when we were kids. I got us like something that was really cool, and this year I got us another thing that like bonds us both. I always try to like, just like when we were kids, like I'll get him something that I can like connect to with him, and so I got him something that's waiting for him, and he needs to pick it up. I'm gonna text him today and tell him I call him a jerk on live radio and video, but. No, he's awesome, and he's been doing well. But him and I will do that. But that's something that I greatly appreciate. So, what's your next one for me?
So me, I love animals, and as I was growing up, like I always wanted like a pet dog. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And basically, I just want to know, what was your first pet like ever? I'm not just talking about a dog. I'm just talking about ever like a fish. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
So my first pet was actually they were there 3 years before me. So we're my dogs, Mordo and Cinnamon. So My parents had them first, so I'd say it is, we're my first two dogs, Mordu and Cinnamon, my big brother, big sister. And so I shout them out. I love them. I got pictures of them in my house. And then I had Shady. And now, so I was always a dog brother. And now, dude, I'm a dog dad. And I will tell you, when I tell you that my dog is a human being in a dog body, that is not me saying it. Dude, you be around her for an hour. You're like, bro, that like she treats me when she's scared or something. She comes like pick me up like a kid. She will. I taught her how to speak when she needs something. So she'll bark and then direct me to what she needs. Like she's insane, and like she gives me the side eye like a child would do. I get that. I got it yesterday, and so she runs the show, bro. Look at my story on Instagram and Facebook. She's sitting in my studio chair with the mic, staring at me like this is my show. Like, what are you doing? So I love her. But yeah, I always had goldfish, but Mordu and Cinnamon were my first pets.
Oh yeah, definitely. So you say you're a music guy, right?
I'm a music guy. Yep.
So what was the first concert you ever been to, like that took you out, like you was amazed, like that's the one you wanted to go to, like this was your dream concert?
Okay, well, this one wasn't my dream one, but the first one I ever went to, and I got no shame in it. Because, listen, when I was in high school, all these guys are like, oh, man, boy bands are trash. Ain't nobody listen to boy bands. And they all had boy band CDs in their car. The first concert that I went to, I was 14. I went to Backstreet Boys. And yeah, and I'm going to be real with you. Boys to Men and New Edition, they're boy bands too. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like those were young men when they were growing up. And so, Boys to Men's my favorite of all time, and then New Edition. But my first concert was Backstreet. My first concert where I said, holy, you know what, how am I here, was probably Journey. And I'm trying to think if I have... See, like, I didn't like country music growing up. My dad didn't like it. Like, my mom didn't like it. Now my dad likes it, and I like it. And it's so weird, because, like, I got in the car, and I was like, oh, Dad, like, this is the da-da-da. He goes, yeah, I know. And then I played another song, and he goes, yeah, I know that one, too. And I was like, did we just, like, fall in love with country at the same time, but we didn't know it? Like, he was listening, I'm listening, but he didn't know, and I didn't know. So I would say... I want to see Dan and Shay. I want to see Florida Georgia Line. I want to see Chris Stapleton. There's like so many people I want to see. And the weird thing is, when I worked at the grandstand in Syracuse at the fair, and I used to work all the country concerts when I didn't like country. And and
God throwing it on you. He gonna let.
Yeah, he's like because I had Brooks and Dunn, and that was the only one that would like ever sell out. And it was like 17,000 seats, and I had Brooks and Dunn, and they sing a song. You got to listen to it. It goes off of what we're talking about today. It's called "I Believe" by Brooks and Dunn, and it reminds me of Mr. D. It reminds me of my G Mama. It reminds me of my life, and and when I sing this one, and I really get into this song for real. Like, it makes me kind of fall down to my knees, and there's something about it. And they probably sang it when I was like not even out of the tunnel, going like, why are they here? Why isn't somebody else here? Whatever. But Boys to Men, seeing them perform at Epcot when I worked at Disney, seeing them at the Food and Wine Festival, and Wanye just stood under the spotlight, and they were singing Yesterday, and he says, "How do I?" And then he paused and he waved his hand off. He's like, I'm going to do that again. And then he did it again, and he just held it. And I just remember standing there, and my eyes were looking forward, and I was like, don't blink, don't look away. You're watching Boys to Men, and I don't want you to miss a second of this. Like, because Boys to Men to me was that's how I trained my voice when I was 7. Like, I would turn it on, and I would my range, everything. Like, and if I didn't like it, I'd do it. I wore out the cassette tape so bad I had to buy 2 more.
I know what part you're talking about.
Yeah, man.
Everybody tests their vocals on that part.
Yeah, man. like Wanye, I was like, all right, bro. I was like, what you got? You know what I mean? Like, and I would just do that, man. And so, I mean, I've been singing my whole life since I was 3.
You're crazy because a couple of days ago I was singing that song in the car with my daughters, and I was testing the notes.
Yeah, and when I get off the air today, I'm a how do I when I'm in the car going to my meeting. So, yeah. But yeah, so I don't know. There's a lot, but I would tell you, like, I really want to meet Boys to Men more than anything. Like, I want them to sing at my wedding.
Well, that's amazing.
And they say manifest it, so I'm gonna make it happen. Listen, Wanye, Nathan, Sean, and I'm gonna get my guy Michael back. I know, like, he was out. My gold cane, deep voice. You know, like, I need to get all, like, that's my thing. I was like, I don't want Boys to Men at my wedding. I want Wanye to walk out and people, like, freak out. And then Nate walks out and people freak out. And Sean walks out, he's like, oh, we got Boys to Men. And then my guy Michael McCrary, he walks out with the cane and they're like, what? And then, like, that is like, I reunited Boys to Men. Yes. So, you know, if it can be done, it can be done. So, you know, I'm manifesting, man. I'm getting the band back together, and I want Wanye to, like, motion over to me and be like, yo, and then he'll be like, yeah, I heard you like to do how do I, so you do it, and I'd be like, yo, Marco, yo, you got to come over here and do it, and I'm gonna, because you're gonna be at the wedding, you know that.
Oh yeah, hey man, definitely gotta come to your wedding, man. I definitely, we both gonna be singing horrible crack boy.
That's my thing, though. Like, and it's something that I hold near and dear to my heart. I believe that I can sing, and it is a passion of mine, and I love it. But I would be like crying. I'd be like, I need a minute. You know what I mean? Like, but that would be Boys to Men come out. I'm manifesting it. Boys to Men comes out, and they're like, Dan, come over. We can't sing it without you. I'm gonna take that microphone and I'll be like, yo, Shamarko, I ain't doing this without you. And we'll be there crying, man, and people be like, oh, there goes Shamarko and Dan again, just emotional about everything, you know.
That'd be a hell of a moment, man. That's a hell of a moment. We need that.
Yeah, we need to manifest that and make that happen. So no matter what, I will sing Boys to Men with you at my wedding. I promise.
Yes, sir. I'm taking you on that one.
All right, brother. But listen, we will be talking. I know that I'll be getting in touch with you later today off of our conversation because we need to. But you know, I got nothing but love for you. You're a part of my family, a part of my unit. So I love you. I appreciate you, brother, and thank you for everything you gave me today.
Man, thank you for everything. I love you, man. I appreciate you. And mark my words, man. This a friendship that lasts a long time, and I mark my words. I'm gonna be texting you more. And, you know what I'm saying? Building this partnership and friendship, man, that I need in my life. You know. So thank you for the opportunity, man. Thank you for the words today.
Always, and a shout out to Antoine Bailey, Trayvon Burke, and Brandon Reddish, who all showed you some love today as well.
They're my guys.
Yeah, whole lot of love coming your way today.
Yes, sir, man.
All right, well, listen, take care of yourself, and God bless you, and I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir, you too. God bless you.
All right, take care. That coming here from Shamarko Thomas on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and man, that was, wow. I don't know what to say. I don't know what you want me to say. So I'm going to take a step aside for a fast break. And when we come back, we'll get you ready for the Fantasy Football Power Hour. Thank you so much, and for being patient with the Fantasy Football. I couldn't stop that conversation and wouldn't ever want to. So we'll take a step aside for a fast break. We'll be back with Mike Sofka in just a moment. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand butter chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on WakeUpCallDT.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on MixLR.com/WakeUpCallDT. We are going to be ending this video and starting a new one here with Mr. Mike Sofka. He has been extremely patient with us today, which I appreciate so very much, as that conversation with Mr. Shamarko Thomas has been something remarkable to my morning and extremely, extremely special to me. So for those of you on video on Facebook as well as on YouTube, follow us to our next video, which will be coming up in just a second.